What is up, guys? My name is Lex and welcome back to the vlog. I wasn't expecting to be speaking to you guys so soon, but I have some exciting news. After some consideration, I decided to put together a game size I was comfortable showcasing on the internet with players who have consented to be on camera. So that means for the first time ever, I'll be recording my private game here at Casino Dania Beach in South Florida. Today's game is a 5-5-10 3-blind game, $2,000 cap buy-in. There's a lot of fun hands, wild plays. Let's get down to the table. Let's get to the action. Let's go. Starting things off here with pocket jacks on the button. There's a raise to 30. I re-raised to $100, something you probably want to do with the fourth best hand you can get pre-flop. My opponent makes the call, so we're going heads up here in position to Queen 8-4 rainbow. Now there is one overcard to my pocket jacks, but I am ahead of a lot of hands that he can have here. I can also get value from some worse hands, so I bet $100, just about half the size of the pot. My opponent thinks and folds. I recently just hit a pretty cool career goal when it comes to poker. I'm going to go over that at the end of the session. Make sure to stay tuned all the way to the end of the video for that. Moving on, pocket sevens under the gun, I make it $35. A player re-raises me next to act to $125. 2K effective, I make the call. We're now heads up at a position to King 6-5 2 diamonds. Second pair on this board, I check. And my opponent pretty quickly checks behind. Turn pairs the board and gives me a flush draw. I think I'm going to have the best hand here after he checks to flop, so I lead out for $200. My opponent calls 200. I'm going to shut this one down until the river 7, giving me a full house. Now, I want to bet a size that he can call with a lot of hands, and that maybe will induce him to bluff, so I make it $225. Maybe he turns ace-queen with the ace of diamonds into a bluff. Hopefully he puts some money in this pot, but he doesn't. He folds, and another small pot is going our way. Dun, 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 dun. This game is a little bit smaller than what I normally play, and given the fact that it is my game, I want to give some action. So I get a little out of line here. Ace-7 offsuit, middle position, I raise to $50. There's two callers before the button makes it $150. Now, I just feel like with this sizing, only 3x, after two people called and I raised, just seems a little bit weak. So I decided to put in a 4-bet here. I re-raise now to $350. Now, I think I'll find out pretty quickly if he does have a premium hand. I think he'll re-raise me again with queens, kings, aces, ace-king. But once he makes the call for $350, I put him on some middling pocket pairs, maybe some Broadway cards, some suited ace-x hands. So we're going out of position. 4-bet pot to Queen 8-4, 2 clubs. I completely miss here. I don't have a club in my hand, but I do feel like if I put out a bet, he's going to fold everything here but a queen or a flush draw. So I make it $300, praying not to get any sort of action here. And luckily enough for us, my opponent folds and some chips are going back over to us. Sticking with the line of getting out of line, Queen 5 of spades in the cutoff I raised to $35. Button re-raises me to $135. I end up making the call. We flop well on Jack 8-4, 2 spades. Flush draw for me, I check over to my opponent, who's 3-bet me now 2 or 3 times this session. So I don't think he's going to be connecting all that well with every single board. So I decided to check raise my hand. I make it $300 to go. I have an overcard, flush draw. I can get him to fold out some ace high, king high, and maybe some smaller pocket pairs. He does make the call on the turn king. I'm not going to continue to bluff on. This card is much better for his range of hands than it is for mine after check raising. So I check, and he puts out a pretty reasonable bet. $300, less than half the size of the pot. Well, not going anywhere. I feel like I have some implied odds around $800 behind. If I hit my flush, maybe I can get it all, and that is what happens. 6 of spades on the river. I'm going to lead right out here. I go all in and get snap called. I show the queen high flush, and he mucks. Tells me that he had a flush as well. If that is true, wow, what a sick cooler. I think we are, 4 for 4 so far. Stacking this opponent, stacking up some chips, up around $2,000 on the day. In this hand, there's an early position raiser to $30. I just call next to act with ace, jack of diamonds. There's a caller next to me, and then the button makes it $150 to go. Early position raiser folds. I decide to call, and the player to my left, who I just got with the queen high flush, makes the call as well. Going 3 ways now to king 7-7 with 2 diamonds. I flop the nut flush draw. I check over to my opponent to the left, who checks over to our opponent on the button, who fires out a big bet on this board. He makes it $300. Now, With this sizing on this board, I'm not going to check raise my nut flush draw. I do have to be a little bit careful, but I just don't think he's going to be betting this sizing with pocket kings for a full house, so I think my diamonds are live. I make the call, and the player to my left folds. Heads up now to a 5 of diamonds on the turn, giving me a flush. I check over to my opponent, and now he slows down and checks behind. Final card is an offsuit 4. And I think the best way to get money out of this hand is to check over to my opponent, potentially let him value bet worse hands, or potentially maybe bluff, putting me on some middling pocket pairs or hands that he can think that he could get to fold if he bets big, and that's exactly what happens. He fires out a $500 bet. I'm not going to mess around or waste any time. I put him all in now for $2,000. He's got around $1,500 behind. Once he doesn't snap call, we know he doesn't have a full house, which means we have the best hand. We are now rooting for a call. He thinks for around 20 seconds and decides not to put any more chips in the middle, and we win this pot. The casino at Dania Beach is around 5 minutes from the Fort Lauderdale International Airport, so if you're down in South Florida for vacation, for family, with friends, and you want to play some poker, send me an email at lexopokergame@gmail.com, and I'll try to get you in the game. You can send me an Instagram message, or maybe leave a comment down below, and I'll try to get a hold of you. I have 5.5K in my stack, starting with 2K. It's been a pretty good day so far, but there is a lot of poker left to play. This next hand is a pretty wild one. There's a player in the cutoff who's been playing around 80% of hands. He makes it $30. Small blind calls $30, and with ace-5 suited in the big blind, I feel like that's ahead of a lot of the hands that he's playing, so I make it $200 to go. I've also been playing with this guy for the last year. He's pretty wild, and sometimes when you raise him pre-flop, he likes to just get it in, which is exactly what happens. He announces all in for $1,700. I snap call with my ace high, and we're going to run out this board 2 times.
All in.
Call. Anything good?
Twice.
Do you have anything good?
Yes, like that. Oh no, not like that.
Oh, that's Lex.
Not like
Ace.
Oh God, that's Lex.
Everything's yours.
Heart.
Lex got ace high.
Ace high.
Ace on the top.
I felt pretty decent about getting all in here with ace-5 suited versus his opponent. On the first board, he said it was me. I hit top pair. Now there is queens out there, tens out there, any jack makes a straight. But on the second board, I don't have anything at all, just ace high. And my opponent says I'm good on that board as well. I have no idea what he went all in with. Maybe something like king 5 suited or 10-6 suited. I don't know how you can't hit anything on the bottom board if you don't hit anything on the top board after going all in, but hey, I'll take it. $1,700 is being shipped our way. Moving along, there's a raise to $100. I call in the small blind with ace deuce offsuit, and the big blind calls 3, 4, 5, 2 diamonds. We are running hot this session, flopping the second nuts. I check, big blind checks. Initial raiser puts out a bet of $150. On this connected wet board with a flush draw, I decide to raise it up right away. I make it $600 to go. We're around $3,000 effective. My opponent thinks for not too long and ends up making the call for $600. Turn card is one of the worst cards in the deck. It's an offsuit 6. Now any 7 makes a bigger straight than mine. Obviously a diamond would be pretty bad, but we do have the ace of diamonds. I don't know. I could check here. I could bet small, and I decide to check. Try to see what my opponent will do, and he checks behind. River card's an offsuit king. I'm going to go for value now against those hands like tens, jacks, queens, kings, aces, maybe ace, king. I put out a bet of $500. Turns out my opponent didn't have much at all. He pretty quickly folds. Every half an hour, there's a dealer change, and we do a double board PLO bomb pot with a $1,000 betting cap, which means you can only put $1,000 max of your stack in. And in this hand, there is a 3-way capped, which means the pot is around $3,400. I've got top pair on one board and top pair in the nut flush draw on the other board, and I end up scooping this when I hit the nut flush on the bottom and top pair with ace king on the top, and end up profiting around $2,400 in this hand. A pretty picture-perfect session so far for me. Everything's been going my way. I now have stacked up to $8,500 off a $2,000 buy-in. Just shows you with this action on the table, anything can happen. And I end up getting into another pretty sick pot where I have 6-7 of clubs. I raise to $75, 2 calls, and flop the nuts again. 3, 4, 5 rainbow. It checks to me. I put out a bet of $150, and now the player who went all in when I had ace 5 and he didn't hit anything raises me to $600. Kind of an interesting spot whether we want to slow play here and just call. My opponent's got $1,500 behind after this bet, or if we want to raise again. Now this opponent did get it in light versus me earlier for $1,700. Maybe if I raise all in, he'll call me with a pair and a straight draw, or 2 pairs and sets. I think the best option here on this rainbow board is just to call and risk him potentially hitting a boat on the turn to allow him to continue to bluff if he is bluffing. So I make the call around $1,500 in the middle to an offsuit 9 on the turn, hoping he'll bet, or maybe even better yet, shove, but unfortunately he checks over to me. Well, I'm definitely going to bet here, and I decided without too much shot thought just to bet big. I bet out over $2,000, putting him all in, thinking he'll call with sets and 2 pairs, but he folds very quickly, which makes me think he didn't really have much of anything at all. Maybe I misplayed this hand. Maybe I should have just shoved the flop. That would have looked a little bit weaker. Maybe I could have bet small on the turn, maybe something like 500, maybe even check the turn. I don't know. Either way, can't beat myself up too much. Chips are being pushed back in my direction. In this hand, do as I say, not as I do. 4 deuce suited from early position is not a raise to $50. However, I do it. It folds to the big blind, the same player I've been battling with all session, and he makes it $200 to go. Well, I'm in position. I'm pretty deep stacked. I've got a suited connector. Maybe I can flop something big. It's only $200. Hey, I flick it in, and we're going heads up in position 2, king 10, 4, 2 diamonds, flopping bottom pair. He continues for $400 now, which is a big sizing. I mean, pretty polarized on this board. I don't think he would make it this sizing with jacks or 9s or queens or 8s. So I think he's going to be weighted to hands like ace king and aces and pocket 10s, or he's going to have hands like ace jack, ace queen, maybe flush draws. With my bottom pair, I'm not really sure what I want to do, and then I decide to come up with something fun. Wow, why so much?
Hold on.
You want to show a card?
What?
Do you want to show a card?
Show card?
You show one, I show one?
No, you call, I show. Yeah.
If I call, you'll show if I call?
Yeah. You show one, I show one.
Okay. Okay, randomize it. Random.
Which one?
Random.
Pick anyone.
Don't look and just turn it over.
Okay.
Ah, this one?
No.
This one?
Yes.
Or
All I gotta say is you guys are fucking demented. Fucking completely generous.
not like that.
How much is that?
Fuck. I know, I was hoping to see the other one. If you guys followed along here, I said, why so much on the flop? He said, bluff. I said, do you want to show a card? He says, if you call 400, I'll show a card. So I call $400. He randomizes and shows the ace of spades. He then picks the 4 of spades for me to show. So now he sees I have bottom pair, and I see that he has the ace of spades. Turn card is an offsuit 7. Shouldn't change anything at all. And he goes all in for $1,500. Kind of a weird spot. I want to hear what you guys would do in the comment section below. Would you call it off here with bottom pair, knowing that your opponent can really only have a couple hands that are beating you? Hands that he would re-raise pre-flop and play this way that are for value would be aces and ace-king. I mean, he can't have a flush draw, so he can't be bluffing with that. But he doesn't have, like, ace-10. I don't think so. I mean, maybe he would do this with ace-10, given the fact that he thinks I just have a 4. I don't know. I think it's kind of close, but ultimately I decided to let this one go. I thought that he would either have aces or ace-king, and his bluffs would be hands like ace-jack and ace-queen. So it's kind of a 50-50 flip. And I do get shown the bluff ace-queen offsuit. Nice hand by my opponent. Same player from the last few hands races in the hijack. I have 6-8 of diamonds. He's got around $600 left. I just make the call in the small blind, big blind calls. 10-10-3 with 2 diamonds. I flop a flush draw. I check, and the action checks all the way around. Turn card, 5 of diamonds, giving me an 8 high flush. Not going to slow play here on this board. I make it $100 to go. Big blind now looks at his cards, doesn't like them, gives them back to the dealer, and now the hijack player, action player, makes the call. Going to a final card which double pairs the board, it's a 3, and I'm just going to go for broke here. He's got about 500 left. I put him all in for a $1,000 chip, and he snap calls. I show the 8 high flush, and it is not good. Up against Jack 3 offsuit for a rivered Full house. Yeah, he raised that hand pre-flop. He called on the turn and then binked it on the river, and we are going to double him up here for around a $1,200 or $1,300 pot. Do you guys believe in momentum in poker? When you're losing, more likely to lose. When you're winning, more likely to win. We'll see if the momentum is shifting in this session in this hand. I call a raise with pocket threes from the player we've been playing all these pots with and go like 5, 6 ways to a flop of king 7-3, 2 hearts, bottom set for me. Initial raiser, guy that we've been battling with all night, bets out $75. Now the question is, do we slow play and just call? There is a flush draw out there. There is one straight draw, or do we spring the trap and raise? I think just calling is fine. Try to keep him in there with his bluffs, keep him in there with his hands he's drawing dead with, so that's what I do. Heads up now, in position to an offsuit 8 on the turn. This does bring in a club flush draw, and he continues now for a $300 bet. I think it's pretty obvious he's got a strong hand, something like ace-king, king-queen, king-jack, maybe a big combo draw. I am going to raise now. I could have some more bluffs on this turn card, so I make it $700 to go. Before my chips hit the felt, he goes all in for around $1,600. I snap call. We're going to run out this board 2 times. He says he has 2 pairs, so we're in great shape to win over a $3,000 pot until a 7 comes off on the river, giving him a bigger full house with king 7. Thankfully, we survive the double bigger boat when the second river is the queen of hearts, and we're going to chop up this $3,400 pot. After this hand, I go insanely card dead and lose back around $2,000 or $3,000 worth of my profit. It's around midnight now, and there's a new player at our table who has been bringing the action. She's in for a few buy-ins, raising, re-raising, going all in, playing pretty wild. With ace-king offsuit, I raised to $50 in later position. She makes it $150 in the small blind. Now with ace-king, a premium hand versus a player who's playing a lot of hands and playing very aggressive, I want to try to build this pot even more. Given the fact that I'm in position, I don't want to make it too much bigger. I just make it $350 to go, just around 2 to 2.5x her re-raise. Now back over to my opponent in the small blind with $3,800 in her stack, and she announces all in. Wow. Not gonna lie, I was not expecting her to do that. She goes all in for 380 big blinds, ace-king offsuit, 5-bet jam here. I mean, are we getting cooler? Does she have aces or kings? I don't think she would do this with a hand like tens or jacks or ace-queen offsuit. I go back and think earlier, I did see her just call a raise with pocket jacks in the small blind and win a big pot about 30 minutes before. So is she going all in now with pocket jacks when she just flat called earlier? I don't know. It's kind of a 6 spot. I don't think I can fold, but I really don't like this spot either. Also, she says she's only going 1 time. I don't know. I don't think I can fold. So eventually I make the call, and just like that, we're playing over a $7,000 pot. We're going to run out this board 1 time. Flop comes out, queen 6-6, nothing for me. Turn card does not bring me any help with the 8 of clubs. We're all in here for $7,000 in the middle. I'm up around $3,000 or $4,000 on the night. If I lose this hand, I will lose all my profit. It's not looking good. Ace high is probably not going to be winning this huge pot when she goes all in. We're looking for a miracle river, and we do not get it. It's a brick. We're left here with ace-king high, and I think I'm going to lose until she shows king-jack offsuit for king high, and ace high is going to take down this $7,000+ pot. I got to admit, after seeing that run out with my hand, I was not expecting to see these chips again. We declare now the last 2 hands of the night. I'm on the button in this second to last hand and get dealt in 9 deuce of clubs. It's a decent hand, but not good enough to play. I make the fold, and then the last hand of the night, I have queen 10 offsuit. I win a small pot, hitting second pair on the river, and that is it for this 5-5-10 action-packed game. I end up racking up my chips, heading to the cage, and putting all my chips in cash in a lock box behind the cashier, which is what I do and all my players do. That way, none of us have to leave the casino with any chips or cash on our person. I repeat, I never leave the casino with any cash or chips on me. A few days later, I was invited to attend my second ever NFL game where the Miami Dolphins took on the Los Angeles Chargers here in Miami, Florida, where they came back an amazing comeback, 27-26, and then a heartbreaking finish for the Dolphins after that. All right, guys, that is it for this one. Just got back from the Miami Dolphins football game, still in my gear here, and they almost had the win. They were down. They came back, threw a touchdown pass, up by 1 point, and somehow found a way to lose it in the last 30 seconds. But Good news is I had a 2-bet parlay which I hit during the game, so I ended up profiting like $1,100 during that game. I also had a pretty good profiting session a few days ago at Casino Dania Beach, where I filmed and now posting my very first private game video, and it's exciting. I'm super glad to be back. I've missed filming. I've missed the creative side of it. I've missed editing. I've missed talking to the camera and doing all these things. So it's fun to be back. But I ran super hot that session. I mean, I was hitting straights. I was hitting 2 pairs. I was hitting sets. I was getting paid off. And then that last hand of the night, ace king to king jack for like a $7,500 pot was pretty insane. Ended up profiting a few $1,000s on that night. If you guys are in the South Florida area and you want to play a game of this size and you're potentially good for the game, send me an email at lexopokergame@gmail.com. Maybe you play 1-3 no limit, 2-5 no limit, and you want to kind of take a little bit of a shot at a 5-5-10 game, and a game that's not going to be too scary and it's not full of a bunch of pros. Come take a shot. I'll try to get you in the game. Maybe you are traveling in from different areas for Thanksgiving, for Christmas. Maybe you're here for vacation. Send me an email and I'll try to get you in the game. You can also send me a message on Instagram, lexopoker. You can comment on one of my pictures. You can comment on, in this video. I'll try to get you in the game, and maybe you can make an appearance in one of the vlogs as well. I'm looking for friendly people. I'm looking for fun people, action people, entertainment people, people that are good for the game, trying to make poker fun again, trying to make poker great again too. Anyway, yeah, crazy session, but I'll take it. I did kind of allude to this in the video, and then I kind of did a little clickbait title, but it's not so clickbait. I do want to share some results with you guys. So I have really not shared any results. I think the last time I did a year results was like 2022, I believe. So I haven't really shared my results for 2023, 2024, or even 2025, but I have just hit like a milestone, a barrier that I think is really cool. Something that I never really figured that I could even get to, or never really thought it was fathomable or even possible to get to. But recently I have made it to $1 million of profit in cash game poker since I started filming, or since I started recording my results in March of 2020. So 1 million, like $1.09 million of earnings playing cash game poker across the country since March 2020, which is, for me, like, it's kind of hard to wrap my head around that I could play a game, that I could use strategies that I've come up with by myself. I've never really had any coaching. I've just watched people and try to get better. So it's kind of amazing to me that I'm able to like self-teach myself and get to the level where I can make that kind of money. And yeah, I haven't really gone over my results in the past couple of years, but I feel like this is a pretty cool milestone. This is something to talk about. And I just want to take a little bit of time and kind of go over like the game changers per year of how I think I got to this point. I mean, this is my YouTube channel. I kind of want to go over a little story time. And then at the end, I want to talk about maybe how it is possible to make $1 million playing poker. So I'm going to start in March 2020. And for the year of 2020, the game changer for that year is for sure COVID-19. Now, of course, it was terrible. A lot of people got sick. A lot of people died. But for me, for my career, it was actually very good. So everything closed down. The casino shut down. There was no poker for me to play. My job was basically done. So I then resorted to playing online poker. I played online poker from March until May every single day for 10 to 12 hours a day. I have a very addictive personality. I have a very addictive and competition mindset where I just want to be good and better and better. So I had nothing to do. I'm sitting at home. There's nowhere to go. So I played online poker day after day after day after day for 2.5 months. And I really think that was a huge game changer for me in the year of 2020. I was able to see so many hands, see so many spots. It's like going over drills, boom, boom, boom. I was four-tabling like 3-6 no limit online for hours and hours and hours. And when I went back to playing live poker, it just felt so easy. I felt like, I've been in this spot. I feel like I basically played like 3 years of poker in 2 months. So game changer for sure in 2020 was playing online poker during COVID-19. Now, game changer in the year of 2021, that was able to get me to profiting $1 million would be starting this vlog. In February 2021, I started this vlog. It's kind of interesting. I don't know if I actually ever talked about this, about how this like really came about. So first I had a personal Instagram, where I posted my CrossFit stuff, and I posted just, just me, my brother, my dog, whatever. But I wanted to start posting some poker content in 2021. But I didn't want to post I had like 3,000 followers on my personal page. I didn't want these people who followed me for fitness stuff and they followed me from high school and college. I didn't want to start posting poker stuff on that channel or on that page. So I made a brand new channel and just called it, first I called it Ace High Good, which is kind of funny. That was like my name, Ace High Good. And then after like a couple weeks, I changed it to Lexopoker. My last name is Ozias, so Lex O Poker. I started that Instagram in January 2021, and I was just posting chip stacks. I was posting hand reviews. I went out to Vegas in like February or something. I was posting some cool stuff. And then I got back to Florida, and I just went in to play poker one day, and I put down my camera to put some content on my Instagram story, put my phone this way, like landscape wise, filmed some stuff, some hands, and realized that like the landscape versus vertical is much different for Instagram. So I'm like, oh, this is not going to work. Then I'm like, you know what? Why don't I just edit it and make it into like a long video? So I just edited it all out that first session and made it into a video and just made a YouTube channel, Lexo Poker, and then posted it on YouTube. And it got a lot of views. It got some comments. So I'm like, I'll try this again. So I did it again. It got more views, more comments. But the year of 2021 for sure was a game changer, because what the vlog did was it pushed me to get out of my comfort zone. I was feeling pretty comfortable playing 2-5 no limit, but the vlog pushed me to try to play bigger. I started taking shots at 5-10 no limit, 5-10 25 no limit. I also started going to Texas and traveling there where the games were tougher. I was going to Vegas and playing bigger games there. I wanted to make the vlog bigger. I wanted to make the vlog better. I was constantly pushing, which inherently made me better. If I would have just stuck at 2-5 no limit for year after year after year, I don't think I would be at the place where I'm at now. So the vlog inherently pushed me up and tried to get myself to a higher level. So 2021 game changer for sure was starting the vlog. The game changer for the year of 2022 would be Texas poker. Now this has a little bit to do with 2021 because I was in Texas like October, November of 2021, but I was also in Texas January, February of 2022. So Texas poker really changed me for sure. I always will say that Texas poker and Florida poker has a lot softer players that are playing with less money. So you'll see down here in Florida, there's a lot of soft players, but they're not playing with that much money. Texas poker has better players, more aggressive players, but they're playing with way more money. So for me, it was a huge game changer trying to navigate, trying to adjust from Florida poker to Texas poker when I was spending some months in Dallas and in Austin. And at first it was horrible. I was down money. I think for 2 months I was down 13K in Dallas. But in February of 2022, I was in Texas, I was in Dallas, and I made like $41,000 that month playing 2-5 no limit, which was just insane. A huge profiting month for me, a big bankroll boost. And I definitely credit Texas poker to helping my poker game. I mean, Texas players are very aggressive. You have to rise to the occasion. You have to get better. If you're playing against tougher players, if you want to try to beat them, you got to get better than them. You got to try to find a way to do that. And I was playing against a lot of tough players, a lot of aggressive players, a lot of bluff heavy players, and it just made me get better while playing in Texas in the year of 2022. Now, moving on to 2023 game changer, I distinctly remember this. 2023 game changer is going to be classified as downswing. I remember going through a terrible downswing in the year 2023 during the summer. 2023, horrible downswing in the summer. I think I went 3 months where during those 3 months I was down like $12,000. Now you might not think that's that much at 5-10 no limit, being down $12,000 in 3 months, but think about it. I don't have a regular job. I am paying bills. I am, driving my car, eating, I'm traveling, and for 3 months straight, I didn't make any money. Actually, I lost $12,000, which is pretty hard to do. But I remember in 2023, I distinctly remember going through this downswing and being like, I have to change something. I have to find a way to win. I have to find a way to change things so I am not continuously losing. And it really pushed me. It pushed me to get better. It pushed me to look at my hands and say, what am I doing wrong? Talk to some friends, talk to some people, and just focus on getting better. I kind of like plateaued maybe that year where I was like, go in there, splash it up a little bit, whatever. And yeah, it was really tough in the year of 2023, a huge downswing for a couple months. But that downswing helped me get better, which helped me, basically continue to move up in the stakes and continue to potentially make money as well. So 2023 game changer was the long downswing I went on. 2024, the game changer of that year was playing live streams. 2024 was the year that I really wanted to push myself to play bigger live streams. I had played live streams before in 2021, 2022, and 2023, but 2024, I wanted to play the biggest live streams. And I do feel like with poker and a lot of things, with sports, with mind activities, whatever, even with work, when you're with and you're around people who are better than you, they will make you better if you're trying to get better. So I didn't go on these big live streams to try to get better. I went on them for the popularity, for the money, for the potential setting myself up for the future to play in these big games. But I played on the Lodge 5100, I played the Lodge 100, 200, I played on the Hustler game, Hustler 100, 200, 5100. I played against all these tough players and also some pretty crazy players as well. And doing those live streams, putting myself in that level, putting myself in that mindset where I had to push myself really helped my game. It really was a game changer with me. But when I'm just grinding 5, 10, 25 every single day, and then I go play 100, 200, 400 against Mariano and Jungle Man and Action Dan and, Terrace and these guys, like, that's a big step, right? That's like jumping right into the deep end all the way down. So I had to adjust. I had to try to get better. And I do believe that when you are surrounded by people who are better than you, that's how you get better. So I distinctly remember as I've moved up in stakes in poker that when you move up in stakes and you go back to your previous stake, it always feels easier. When I played 1-2 and I went to 2-5 for a few months, when I would go back to 1-2, it just felt easy. It felt small. I just felt like I knew what I was doing. And I do feel like when I played those live streams, that's kind of what happened. I played some big live streams against some tough players. I did terrible. I lost like over $100,000 in those games. But when I went back down to my regular stakes, I felt so much more confident. I felt so much better about my game, and I felt like I got better. So game changer for sure in the year of 2024 was playing live streams. And then for 2025, I think it's pretty obvious. The game changer of this year is this private game that I'm running. It has taken up all my time. It has been insane. It's a full-time job. I'm working constantly, basically every day. I really don't ever get a day off. Any day off I have, I'm getting ready for the next game. I'm talking to people. I'm doing damage control. I'm planning, doing all sorts of things, and I'm getting ready for the next game. But game changer wise, for sure, I mean, being able to select and put together a game that I feel like I can win in is obviously great. Being able to make the game size different too, according to, the stacks and everything also helps when it comes to profitability and everything like that. So for sure, game changer this year is, my game at Casino at Dania Beach. But it's been pretty crazy. I never felt like I would ever get to this point. I'm not saying that I even had a goal to get to $1 million profit playing cash game poker, but it's pretty cool. I looked back like a week or two ago and I'm like, wow, holy shit. Like I've hit this mark, which is pretty cool. So hopefully it could just continue to go upwards. Very grateful for the things that I've had and the opportunities that I've had. But I also feel like, this was all very like self-done, self-made, not trying to sound like arrogant or whatever, but it's true. Like I did not get a loan from anybody. I did not get help. Nobody gave me a bankroll. I literally started it with $0 in 2018, dead broke, driving Uber, cashing out my Uber earnings to get Domino's pizza to put gas in my car, dead broke in 2018. And basically started to figure some things out, started winning a little bit, and just went from zero to where I'm at now. So, I mean, I feel like sometimes you have to say, shit, you know, we did it. This is pretty cool. So I think this was kind of that moment for me where I haven't really gone over my results with you guys. I felt like that's a little bit more private, but I felt like this milestone is pretty cool to go over. Hopefully it doesn't come off as like, you know, showboating or anything like that. I mean, this is my YouTube channel. You guys follow me for this kind of stuff. I go over my results a lot per session. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. I feel like it was deserved after all the hard work I put in. Like I literally put insane amounts of hard work. I've neglected so many things to focus on my career and for poker. I played, you know, 6 days a week. 6 days a week I played from like 2020 to 2023. Like I hardly ever took breaks. I haven't been on a vacation in 5 or 6 years. You know, I've just been grinding like crazy. So it's pretty cool to get to a point where I can say I've made $1 million playing poker. And yeah, as for if it's possible or how to make $1 million playing poker, my advice for someone looking to make a lot of money in poker would be to get yourself into a game that is the biggest game possible where you have an edge. And I don't know how you can do that. Either you can do that by being a personality, you can do that by making your own game, you can do that by finagling your way into private games, into live stream games, but it is very possible to make $1 million playing poker. People are making $1 million every year that are playing on Hustler. People make a ton of money playing private games for sure. But if someone wanted to make $1 million right now playing poker, it's for sure possible. I believe it's in the cash game realm. Tournaments, very, very hard to make money. I don't think many people are making money except the guys way up at the top, and I'm not even sure how much money they are actually making. Cash game poker, getting yourself into good spots and getting yourself into a game where you're good enough to have an edge for large amounts of money, that is going to equal over the long run, you know, a lot of money. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this one. We'll see. Hopefully I'll be back. I do want to post more. I guess I'll see how this video turns out. Maybe I'll be filming this coming up week and I'll be back with another video. I do want to try to travel again. Right now it's a little hard. Rogue is turning 11 and his hips are having some issues. He's having some issues walking a little bit too, so I don't really want to leave him for too long, and I just have a lot going on here, but I do want to try to get back out to Hustler. I want to try to get back out to Vegas. It's been a while. Anyway, long rant. If you're still here, I appreciate it. Please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, I'll see you.